What if I told you that an Oscar-winning Hollywood legend with advanced Alzheimer's disease was left completely alone for 6 days while his wife lay dead on the floor and nobody knew about it? I'm talking about Gene Hackman's death, which is incredibly tragic. And there are many lessons we can take away from this horrible situation, but there are two really big ones that I want to share in this video that every single dementia caregiver can learn from. Because what happened to his wife, his primary caregiver, can happen to any caregiver, including you. And by the end of this video, you'll learn how to make sure this never happens to you or your loved one, to prevent it as much as possible. So first, the number one lesson is that your health is not guaranteed, regardless of your age. Gene Hackman's wife was 30 years younger than Gene Hackman, yet she passed away before him, unexpectedly dropped dead in their home. She was in better health, decades younger, yet she died before him. It's easy to assume that our loved ones with dementia are going to pass away before us, but that's not a guarantee. So what's the lesson here? Well, as loving caregivers, we put so much time and energy and effort into the person we're caring for, but it's just as important that we do that for ourselves. I know from talking to thousands of caregivers, and I know from when caregiving was a big part of my life, that we tend to just put ourselves on the back burner and in many ways neglect our own health. That needs to change, because the truth is, if something unexpected were to happen to you, what does that mean for your loved one with dementia? Who's going to take care of them? Which leads us directly into lesson number 2, which is a huge takeaway, and I'm going to give you a huge challenge I want you to put into place today, and that is have an emergency backup plan in place. Here's the deal. 6 days Gene Hackman's wife was laying dead on the floor. And Gene Hackman, with advanced Alzheimer's disease, was walking around the house. Who knows what was going through his mind? Who knows if he understood that his wife was dead, or that maybe he needed to call somebody and didn't know how to use the phone? We have no idea. The reports that came out after everybody found out what was happening in the situation showed that he didn't even have recent food in his system. So maybe he didn't even know enough to be able to feed himself. I mean, this is just heartbreaking. 6 days, let that sink in, of this man walking around the house while his wife was dead on the floor. Nobody checked in. Nobody came by. Nobody called and got suspicious when there wasn't an answer. So here's the huge takeaway. Caregivers and people who live alone really could use an emergency backup plan, because social isolation is dangerous, not just for people with dementia, but for everyone. And the good news is formulating a simple emergency backup plan is really not that hard to do. Here's how you do it. Basically, you create a daily check-in system. You basically find somebody that is willing to be your daily check-in. It could be a neighbor, a friend, a family member, a coworker. It doesn't even matter. They could live in the same city as you, or they can live in a different country. It doesn't matter. But basically, all you do is you send that person a text message, an emoji thumbs up, a phone call. Somehow during the day, you give a communication to that person that lets them know you're alive, basically. And then what happens is if that person doesn't hear from you in over 24 hours, they are going to initiate the next step. Basically, that person's going to try reaching out to you. Hey, are you okay? I didn't hear from you today. Sometimes we know we get busy. You may have just forgotten to text them that day. So they'll just do a quick check-in with you. Hey, didn't hear from you. Are you okay? That's the deal. You send them a little check every day, somehow relate to them that you're all right. If they don't hear from you in 24 hours, they do a check-in for you to follow up and make sure you're okay. Now, if they don't hear back from you in that 24-hour period, give it some time and they still haven't heard back from you, now they can initiate a true response. If they're in the same city or town, they can literally drive by and go check on you or have somebody else go do that. If they're living out of country or out of state, they can either call somebody, like if they have a back emergency person in your area, or they can call the local authorities and do a health and welfare check and say, hey, we have this system. I haven't heard from them. Would you mind going by and checking in, making sure everything's okay? I'm concerned. And then local authorities can go do that check. Here's what I'd love to know. Do you already have some sort of emergency safety plan in place? If so, leave a thumbs up emoji or say that you have a plan in the comments below. If you do not have a plan in place, please let us know that you'll create this plan. I have a dear friend who happens to live alone and doesn't have any kids, And this whole Gene Hackman thing, and she doesn't have dementia, she's totally fine, but this whole Gene Hackman thing got me thinking like, hey, we need to do a daily check-in. Like, send me something every day to let me know you're all right. And if not, I'm going to check on you. My final thoughts here is that this video is not about a Hollywood actor. It's about you. It's about your loved ones, because nobody should be left alone in an emergency. Nobody should have to go 6 days without help. As caregivers, we think so much and we do so much to protect our loved ones. Let's do something today to protect ourselves too. And Careblazer, if this video was helpful for you, there's a subscribe button on your screen. You've probably heard me mention about that before. And what it does is it communicates to YouTube that videos like this are helpful to other people looking for help and information, but don't yet know that this channel exists. I really appreciate it. Also, just in case you don't know this, I offer a free weekly dementia dose newsletter where I share dementia breakthroughs, behavior strategies, and caregiving support every single week delivered to your inbox absolutely free. You can sign up for the Dementia Dose newsletter simply by going to our website, www.careblazers.com. I'm sending you so much love, Careblazer. Also, Nico gets a belly rub for every person who subscribes from this video. So if you haven't already, click the red subscribe button. It's totally free, and Nico says thank you very much.